Hi,
we're on.
folks.
Yeah.
We're on. How's everybody today? I hope it's a brighter day for you. Um, there's been some more developments in the fire. I just got back up back just got back down from Cobb and Loch Lomond, and I just we while we were up there, we came across a crime scene basically where it looks like they found another person up there. We're not sure, male, female, or who it is yet, but it was up in Gifford Springs. They were on a recovery for with the cadaver dogs. So we'll let you know as that develops who it may be, and we're just praying for the best and hoping that you know it's I don't know. I don't even know what to say. I'm just so overwhelmed with all this right now. It's just really hard to even talk about it. Went into the neighborhoods behind Emmerford, went into the neighborhoods all the way down to Bottle Rock Road today. The fire is raging on Bottle Rock. Jellystone and Camp Indian Meadows are both still in good shape. They're using Jellystone or probably Indian Meadows too as a staging area. I don't think Indian Meadows though, because that little bridge probably couldn't hold
Hmm.
those big trucks. But definitely Jellystone is being used as a staging area. They're actively fighting the fire at this point. It is up past the Bottle Rock power plant, and it is all those areas have been unaffected, by the way. And it is headed up Cobb Mountain, up behind the Hoburgs, and not heading up that direction, but it's heading up on the mountain on the other side. So it's through the valley of Bottle Rock and then up on the side of the mountain across from the Hoburgs and part of up on the part of Cobb Mountain. So it's still raging. They're still fighting at full force. It's still got retardant drops. They've still got water drops going on. All the huge helicopters and everything is still out there. And it's just it's a heavy scene, okay? And there's still a lot of hot spots, not as many as we saw last time we went through. Things have definitely cooled down, and there is still a lot of wires down. They've started to cut trees. We saw 12 huge tree trucks come up there from Middletown, and they're all stationed over at the Hoburgs. We also had an interview with.
Then he admitted painting the driver's side of the Jeep so it would resemble a law enforcement vehicle. um, what can I say, folks? So excuse me. And in the vehicle, they found a box of live ammunition, flat screen television, DVD player, air rifle, air pistol, and a drill. Uh, my point here is, even if you go back to your residential premises for a bit, you still got people here who think they're bigger than the law, and they are still ransacking and entering your residence to retrieve any valuable item they can, so they can sell down the street. So, besides the electrical lines down, no water access, et cetera, et cetera, it's dangerous because we have people like this wandering through the residences just to take advantage of the situation. And the last thing you want to do is come in contact with somebody that has a weapon and doesn't mind using it because they want your property.
It's just tragic, tragic.
Yes.
And those three guys that came from the Bay Area,
Hmm.
talk about that. Do you have that story in your head, or do I need to
I'm trying
pull
to
it up?
remember. I know what you're referring to, but I don't remember the details.
So three guys were arrested, and they were all dressed in camouflage
Oh, that's
gear.
right. Yeah.
Can you talk about
No,
it,
go
or
ahead.
I'm asking you if you can talk about it because I'm trying to take care of some things here with some updates on people. But if you don't remember,
I
I'll
don't remember the
go
whole
over
thing.
it when I get a minute.
Okay. Anyway, I think it was two people, one person from the Bay Area and two within the vicinity of the Bay Area, and they were in camouflage clothes, and were they in Cobb area? Can't remember now.
I don't know. I'm lost.
Okay. Anyway,
I'm sorry, guys. I have had about 3 hours of sleep.
what
Yeah.
was that? Yeah, I thought so too. And they were going through their, once again, trying to ransack houses and get whatever possessions they could. But they were on a mission. They weren't just at randomly going through there. You had camouflage gear, they had weapons, and they were geared up to find as much valuable as they can as quickly as they can. So, let's see what other notes we have. This is kind of a repeat, but Mediacom is doing their best to try to come up with some repairs. As we've told you today, our internet has been sporadic throughout the day, so if you lose our signal for a bit, it's not us, and it's really not Mediacom, it's just the damage and repairs that are going on right now. And a lot of their problems and concerns right now is they cannot do their repairs until PG&E does their repairs. So it may take another 2 or 3 days since most of the general areas for Mediacom to get it back online. And in the more devastated areas like Cobb and Middletown that we saw, it could be a very lengthy period of time before that gets reinstated because PG&E are prioritizing their repair work, and they don't even know where some of the lines are down. So you have to be patient there. I guess you can go without TV for a little bit. On the other hand, some people can't go out with their internet. Yes.
I'm sorry, guys. All this is starting to really wear on me, and I don't mean to be angry, but when you're seeing this every single day, house after house after house, there's such a need for us to try to place some kind of blame or responsibility. And I know it's no one's fault, as they say, but it just is so unfair.
Well, the thing is, folks, we have 4, 5, 6 weeks left in the fire season, and this needs to be a learning lesson, not just for us in the public to make sure that we're taking care of our own residencies, but to the agencies and the employees of Lake County and the elected officials of Lake County to figure out a much better way to react to a disaster. And with the El Nino coming up, we do not know how much rain is going to fall. They're predicting a higher than normal level of rain. We're going to have more disasters. Not necessarily to the extent we're having now, but mudslides, landslides can be devastating as well and have a more of an impact on travel and on businesses because it could impact all around the county, not just a particular area that's hitting right now. So we do need to come up with a better plan.
Oh, definitely. Communications is the key.
And the problem here is when you bring up a subject, and this is probably one of the most serious subjects that we need to raise, it seems like we get a deaf ear. And I think everyone out there that's been affected directly or indirectly by this fire and this hazard needs to really contact their district supervisor. They need to contact possibly the state agencies and come up with why we do not have a active and effective disaster plan. We were talking about with Phil this morning why the transit authority stopped running their buses for 2 days. Wouldn't it have been better to have them available, not charge anyone, so we have less cars?
Now they're giving free rides.
Yeah, having less cars on the road, making sure those who do not have vehicles or possibly handicapped can get access transportation to get away from the emergency areas or just to get away just for the sake of being a little bit safer. All of a sudden, they go on KPFC radio, I believe it was Wednesday, finally saying, oh, well, we're getting back into service, but our routes are going to be minimized. And they gave the routes that they're going to be on. And one of them said, oh, yeah, well, I can really get to San Francisco using mass transit, and here's how I go, and yada, yada. And I'm saying to myself, who cares about that right now? Why aren't they taking care of the local community? And Phil and I were discussing that, and we said we just couldn't understand the reasoning behind that. Why wasn't mass transit available? Even if the Board of Supervisors said, look, guys, we'll reimburse you for what the expenses are, but we need every single available bus or vehicle you have to help transport people around the place. It didn't happen. So there's another thing about an emergency evacuation plan that all parts of our businesses and all parts of our society here really need to interact and understand what has to happen, how it's to be taking place, and what are the end results going to be. No different than running a business. So hopefully we'll be able to get someone's ear, and hopefully they'll have some town hall meetings or some meetings where the sheriff's department, CHP, Cal Fire, some of the department heads in the Lake County, and some of the media can get together and in a proper professional way try to figure out what's the best way to go. Unfortunately, I don't believe that's going to happen. I'd like to be positive about it, but I think some bureaucrat's going to say, okay, let's revise our current plans. And that's probably what's going to happen. That's not going to have a good impact on our county.
No, it's pretty shameful. And when you see that they're throwing people out like animal control people who really want to try to help getting things together for keeping animals alive.
Now, was there a reason behind that? Do you know?
They say it's all political. The
Uh,
National Geographic guy said it was political.
So one county cannot help the other county because it's a power trip. I mean, that's the only reason I can come up with is that if animal rescue in one county, I think you said Sebastopol, not a county, a city, obviously, and they were coming up here to help animal rescue in Lake County, why would you not want their help? There are such a large area to be covered that they can't cover it all with one agency. I mean, we saw the first day in Hidden Valley, there was animal rescue almost every other block there.
Right,
And
and
they
I
were,
didn't see one person today.
really,
That's what I'm telling you.
not
That the
one.
whole area of Cobb is abandoned.
That's ridiculous.
People need to call LEAP and find out what's going on because there are some issues up there.
So I would actually,
I didn't even see pet food out on how they put it out. And
right. Well, here's another thing that Phil and I discussed, and he brought this to my attention. I was saying, why I have not seen any fire department crew from other states. I've seen from other counties in California. And he said, oh, well, don't you know that there were some Australian and New Zealand volunteers that flew over here?
really,
And I'm like, hang on. I know the Aussies. I know the Kiwis. I completely understand they would have dropped everything they could do to come on over here because those guys are expert firefighters. The amount of wildfires we have in Australia and New Zealand don't even are so far more than what we've occurred here in Lake County, though this one's coming very close.
yeah.
Yet they came all the way across the sea to volunteer to fight these fires. Yet why wasn't there some, be it the governor asking the state of Arizona, the state of Colorado, the state of Nevada to bring some of their resources over here? Last time I checked, there weren't any real fires going on in Arizona. There
No,
weren't any in
no.
Colorado.
And I think there are some crews from out of state, but a lot of them have been working the Butte fire.
Okay, so we get ignored.
I don't think we're being ignored. I just think that the resources are so,
Spread out.
yeah.
Yeah. We know that for internally because a lot of the aircraft was being concentrated on the Buttes fire and not here. We were finally got up to 19, 20, 21 helicopters, but we started off with 2. The fixed wing planes, we started off with 0, and I think we're up to about 4 now. So a lot of those resources are down the Buttes fire, but our fire is almost as devastating as the Buttes fire. So who knows why, but
I think it's more devastating. We've had more houses burnt.
well, from that point of view, yes.
Yeah.
Square miles, they're bigger, but
No,
from a
not much. Not by much. From the damage point of view, we've
Right.
got everybody beat. This is the fastest moving fire that California has ever seen in 30 years. It's huge.
So it is what it is for the moment, but we need to make a change, and I think everyone, excuse me, out there, as I said, really needs to get hold of their district supervisor, even their representatives, be it Senator McGuire, Bill Dodd, and properly complain to them or tell them that were not happy with the evacuation plans or the emergency plans and get them involved because they are the ones who can put pressure.
Right,
We're
exactly.
just citizens that elect these guys, and once they're elected, they most of the time ignore us. Um, so we get hold of Bill Dodd, we get hold of Senator McGuire. And by the way, Senator McGuire is having his grand opening of his office on, I believe it is the 29th of this month. He's sharing an office, I believe, with Bill Dodd. So they're available. I know Bill Dodd is coming up here once or twice a month. I think McGuire has made the same commitment. So we're going to have those representatives at the state level here in Lake County, and they're basically have an open office. So we need to approach them. We need to get them on our side and have put pressure on our elected officials and department heads.
Can I read off some offers for fire evacuees?
Absolutely.
Okay, so those of you that are out there that are evacuated and watching us on your phones or whatever devices you may have left, I've got a long list here. They're not verified. You may want to call them in advance, but there's some really good deals here. BJ's Restaurant is offering free meals. So you have to have a photo ID in every one of these cases to show your proof of residency. Crossing the Jordan Thrift Shop, free clothes, blankets, and shoes. Kohl's, 30% off. Pazzarotti Pet Store, 10% off. Oh, big deal. To J.C. Penney, 25% off. You know, I appreciate what these businesses are doing, but these people barely have anything to spend to begin with. They don't need percentages off, they need free. And if you really want to help the community, then you need to step up and do it for free. Don't just give them a discount when they buy something.
Especially the big
At
stores.
10%, you're not even coming close of eating into your profit margin. I mean, do it for cost, at least. Help these people, folks. Lolo's Consignment Store in St. Helena, free clothes and shoes. The Gap, 15% off. Tutti Frutti, free frozen yogurt. St. Helena Optometry, a pair of glasses or up to 3 months of contacts for free. The Lake Mendocino Campground has free camping. Duran Beach has a few days pass for camping. Hospice Thrift Store has 50% off. The Seabird in Fort Bragg has free rooms. The Napa Fairgrounds has lots of pet supplies. People's Services Thrift Store has clothing for 10 cents each.
There you go.
Target, 5% off. Oh, Target,
It
we
seems to be
thank
the
you
major
so
chains
much
are-
for all
yeah.
your generosity of your 5%. Boy, I'm getting really upset here.
That's less than what their normal sales are.
Yeah, exactly. Our Happy Tales, etc. dog bakery gives a discount on pet supplies. Eddie Bauer, 25% off and 10% more for teachers. Kelseyville Lions Club, free used clothing. Of course, there's used clothing everywhere. You go to
Right.
Walmart parking lot, you go to Brick Hall, you go to Moose Lodge, you go to Highland Senior Center, you're going to find clothing. Clothing is in no shortage. I heard there was something like 60 tons or something of it already up here. Verizon Wireless will up data free for a month and possibly forgive current month's bill.
There you go.
Now that's
the way it
a
should be
good way
done.
to go. Yay, Verizon! Even though I don't like your billing, you really came through for the fire victims. Fish Friends in Sonoma Helping has free clothing, groceries, and fuel. The Teen Center at Redbud Park has donations. Panda Express, that's the youth center rather. Panda Express in Santa Rosa is offering free meals.
Cool.
Mary's Pizza Shack is offering free meals. Park Place in Lakeport is offering free meals. And Middletown Middle School has backpacks and school supplies. Of course, you can't get down there. It's in the evacuation zone.
Exactly.
All right, Middletown Middle School, you need to figure that one out and get it up to one of the shelters. Rebounders in Roanoke Park, buy 1 hour and get the second hour free, plus they're giving socks for free and a free T-shirt.
Okay, there you go.
Great Clips in Coddingtown, free haircuts. Oil Stop Car Wash in Roanoke Park, free car wash, $15 value. Ron Pavelka, we need that.
I gotta say,
Our car's covered in ash.
Well, we're going to be down that way
That's
Sunday.
right. We should go do that. Oil Stop, where I wait. Ron Pavelka, real estate agent in Cloverdale, has a few rentals available. They'll honor month-to-month leases for temporary housing and work with your insurance company to deal with the details. Their phone number is 894-4216. Many people have insurance, and their insurance will cover something
Yeah,
like this.
we talked
So
about
that
that.
could be a very good opportunity for somebody. But
And let me just expand on that. If you have homeowners insurance, folks, part of your policy gives you anywhere from I think 10 to 30 to 60 days of living expenses if you are evacuated or if your house becomes unlivable. So call your insurance agent up, tell them what's gone down if it happens to be out of county, and they will tell you and explain your policy to you, and you could get, as I said, 10, 30, 60 days at a hotel room. They'll be reimbursed for all your food and other necessities. So check on that, folks.
And
It
if
is
you
there.
can get to Cloverdale, and if you work in Santa Rosa or whatever, and you want to stay there until things calm down, give Ron Pavelka, real estate agent, a call. It's 894-4216. The Academy of Sciences is offering free admission. You want to get out with the kids for the day down to the Bay Area. Chipotle,
Oh, yeah.
50% off. They're in the Cottingtown Mall in Santa Rosa. Fleet Feet in Santa Rosa, another big 10%.
Woo.
First Baptist Church in Clear Lake, they have clothing, food, and toiletries. Shoreline Storage in Lakeport, possibly free storage. Someone prepaid some storage units for the fire evacuees. The salon at TAC and Color Organics, you can get your hair shampooed for free. And DMV has no charge for duplicate titles. And there was another lady who was with a title company that's up on what's the name of that road? I said 11th Street on Fidelity Title, that said that she would do title searches for you for free to show the ownership of your home.
Right.
Okay, so that's where we're at right now. I hope to see that more things like that coming up. It's good to see the community stepping up, and we do appreciate everything everyone's done. There are several ways that you can contribute to the Valley Fire evacuees. And there's a fundraiser account set up right now, and I'm not sure how much they've raised so far. You can go to fundraiser.com, and it's called hashtag Valley Fire Help These People in Need. And they've raised $2,340 already.
Awesome.
With only 19 contributors.
Really?
Yes, and this is a group that's run by Matt Nelson from the Moose Lodge and Jenny Curtis. And so this money will go, 100% of this money will go directly to fire victims.
They're doing a good job down there.
Yes, they are. So it's very, very good to go.
Right. And, folks, again, this is not going to happen during this emergency, but Phil and I were talking about the people who are basically, quote, unquote, out on the street in emergency shelters. The Moose Lodge and the other ones are doing a tremendous job in providing the necessities for people. But we have so many foreclosures. We have so many vacant
Empty
houses in Lake County.
Where are the banks stepping up to say, hey, you can use this house?
Well,
My big question is, where's FEMA?
Well, that's what we also talked
with the
about.
Trailers.
And since it's now a state of emergency here, they have the right, or excuse me, they have the obligation to come in and
Of
help
course
out
they
here.
do.
But why couldn't as you said, the realtors, the property managers, and why can't our supervisor, department heads come up with some type of arrangement with management companies to say, look, we'll pay for the first 30 days of rent if you match that 30 days, something like that, just so these houses can be utilized for the people who are put out right now. They don't have to be fancy. They don't have to be 5,000 square foot mansions, but, better than tenting outside as the weather gets cold, though the weather's supposed to get hot this weekend. So there are a lot of alternatives that can be looked at, especially for people who have been evacuated from Middletown, from the Cobb Mountain area, where there's just mass destruction. Hidden Valley got away with a lot in the sense of most of the houses were pretty much intact. They did lose a few there. But for those who were in those devastated areas, how long can you live at a shelter where you have children and you have a job to go to? It does not make sense. So
No,
I think
there's
there's,
a lot of insensitivity to the
yeah,
situation.
there is.
And I don't understand why OES hasn't gotten FEMA down here.
Don't
This oh, I'm
don't
sorry.
go there.
I'm losing my words because I'm just so frustrated right now. I really am, and I hate to bring my emotions into this, but having seen so many homes gone and knowing the level of how many people are without homes, I would have thought FEMA trailers would have been set up already in all the empty fields around here to help these people, and I don't understand why they're not here.
Well, I heard, and I can't verify this, folks, just what I've read or saw on the mainstream news out of the Bay Area, that in the Butte fire, that the, I don't know if it's the state or the county, went to manufactured or modular home lots and literally bought a tremendous amount of these buildings to put out on the in that county so people had a place to live. And they literally bought these homes outright. Now I realize Lake County is a poorer county than
Well,
most.
you want to hear something really bad?
I'm listening.
Local realtors are taking advantage of displaced families.
Oh, crap.
Properties that were inquired about 2 days ago for a family went from $3,000 deposit to a $4,000 deposit, and rent went from $1,600 to $2,000. Who's watching out for price
Did they say
gouging?
who the management company was? Because I probably know who they are, just by
No, it's not
reputation.
ours.
No, just by reputation.
Well,
That is shameful, folks. That really is. Taking advantage of a situation. That's just as bad as people going ransacking houses, doing B&E.
it's called price gouging, and it's against the law.
Well, supply and demand.
That's like the hotel in Clear Lake Oaks. What's
Yep.
it? Motel.
Motel.
What's it called? I can't. Lake Point Lodge. They're charging $300 a night to stay in that dump
In Clear Lake.
Not anymore because
in the Oaks.
They were
Called out.
called out and brought under investigation, told either refund or give comp rooms to those that you overcharged, or you're gonna have to pay a $10,000 fine.
There you go. There you go.
There were 4 places around the county that were
So,
doing the same thing.
as you just said, the property owners need to stand up and help the community, and obviously you need to screen them to a certain extent so your property doesn't get damaged. But there are a lot of people on the street right now or in the emergency shelter that are stand-up individuals, and they just need a place to live. I don't know if I could live in an emergency shelter for very long. It's demoralizing. You don't have all your possessions. You're getting.
You would not survive in a shelter.
No, I wouldn't.
You wouldn't,
I know that.
because you're way too sensitive.
Yep. I don't like loud noises. I'm sorry?
It's not demoralizing at the Moose Lodge.
They have a
But
great attitude.
Peter's very sensitive. He doesn't like loud noises. He doesn't like people being around him. He doesn't like a lot of things that the Moose Lodge has.
Well, if I had no choice, I could adapt, obviously. It wouldn't be fun, but I could adapt. So, and I'm sure there's a lot of individuals like that just besides me. Some of us are very sensitive.
Yes, you are very sensitive, and that's one of the things I love about you is your sensitivity. You're a strong man, but you still have a lot of sensitivity.
Yeah. So, anyway, are you ready to start kind of going through your video?
Not yet,
Not yet?
almost.
Okay.
I'm just Googling some things right now
Okay.
I got to take care of for people. I'm trying to get back to everybody whose house I got to see today, and there's a couple people on my list. I can't find their names anywhere. And one that I skipped today, so I'm trying to see where they're located so I can let them know. I think that they're okay where they're at. Yeah, they probably are okay. So, again, if you have not gotten up to see the condition, or if you're not able to get in to check your home, please send us by private message on Facebook or call us here at the studio at 701-6029, and off the air give us your information, and let us know what your address is, and I promise you I will get by there one day. Until the roads are open for everyone, I will definitely be there to check out your home. And if you have pets, I'll help you make sure that the animal rescue people record when you don't know it's on record. Oh, this house was great. If you look at the corner of the porch, I'm hoping I got a shot. It was really hard with this, the way the sunlight was to see the screen, so I'm kind of shooting blind here. But those two posts there were completely charred black, as you're going to see in a second. And see how nicely black they are. As is the corner of their post, their porch. So you get to see how close this fire actually came to that house, and that is about the only house on that part of Gifford Springs that actually is still standing. I mean, how lucky is that? Fire right up to the porch. Now, see, I'm missing the shot because I can't see in the screen. There it is over there. That's what I was trying to get right there. That corner is just completely charred. So it just came there. The fire flames lapped at the deck, charred the corner of the deck, but couldn't get up on the deck to the house. It's still there. This is another street in the Gifford Springs Road area. Boy, I miss our big screen TV.
Mm-hmm.
They took our big screen, so our monitor now is like 20 inches or something. I have to really look closely to see where I'm at. Did you see any street signs there?
No, not yet.
I think that's still in the Gifford Springs region.
All I saw was big propane tanks that hadn't exploded.
Everywhere. The propane tanks are still there. That's so crazy. Oh yeah, there's the one house, another house in Gifford Springs. Yeah, that house made. That's still Gifford Springs. Oh, I don't remember who this guy is.
Big truck.
Oh, that's the vet. That's the vet.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah, with the National Geographic crew filming from Animal Rescue. Yeah, that's the Middletown Veterinary Clinic. That's their vet, and we're actually just telling him about what we're doing and that we'd found some animals, and I gave him the addresses, and we got everybody motivated on this meeting. It was, one thing they said that really tore their hearts was the animals that were left in pens that just couldn't get out of the pens. And, I have to thank God because with all this traveling I've been doing, I haven't seen one animal yet that was passed. So I thank God for that because I don't know what that would do to me. I'm already an emotional wreck, much less if I would actually be seeing dead animals. I think that would just be so frightening. So I was really just trying to get a shot of him and his truck, but unfortunately we got chatting. So, and we have the volume down. There he is with his truck. Look at that. He's got hay, he's got cat carriers, he's got food. That man is an angel. Okay, I think we're now in, yes, this is Anderson Springs, which is completely decimated. Oh, watch out for the fingertip.
Oh.
Oh, this area here really got me. And of course, Mr. Neft, who was somebody who actually had offered to write for our magazine. He used to work for the San Jose Mercury News. And we had had a couple conversations about him coming on board and just helping us out with things. So I'm extremely sad to see that he was the one person that they found down there that had passed, unfortunately. And according to, as Peter said from the Sacramento Bee, they said that they had no emergency notification that this fire was coming through. No one let anyone know. Whatever happened to the reverse 911 calls? We didn't get one when we
Nope.
were ordered to evacuate. I don't even understand how the ball could be dropped so far at this point in this kind of
We
an
didn't receive any
emergency. No,
notification.
we didn't receive any notification at all. If we didn't happen to be in the media business, we probably would have not have known that there was an evacuation either. I can't get the smell of the smoke out of my head. To all of you who live down here, my condolences, my deepest condolences for your losses. There were some beautiful places down there. And some old places too. There's one place we went, I think I might have got a shot of it, had an old wood stove that was just beautifully decorated, and then there was a clawfoot bathtub, and it was completely broken in half, a steel bathtub.
Those were not real animals, were they?
No.
Just want to clarify
Oh,
that.
we saw several deer though.
Yeah.
I probably saw about a half a dozen deer throughout the journey today,
Yeah, but there's
which
some
I was
live ones.
very glad to see. But there was many of them were injured. They're limping. They're not like deathly injured, but you could tell they had been through the fire and they were hurting. Poor babies. But mothers with babies and full families. Now these are the houses that are left standing in Anderson Springs. There are a few. and we were looking for this young lady's house, and we we just went to her street, and there was just no way to tell what house was this was her street here, and it was too hard to make the turn, so we went down a little further. But there was just no way to tell which house was which, because none of the numbers were there. But the whole street is completely gone, so we just have to let her know that her house is not there anymore. Can you check the door, please? Somebody's here. Okay, Sydney. The back door? The back door. My goodness. Okay, so Pearl, our GPS operator, got us lost several times, so you'll see us turning around here and there and everything else. Now we're going down that street that the young lady asked me to check for her. Just nothing there. I'm sorry.
Shh.
Hello, baby. Hi, Sydney. Hi, Jenkins. Yes, Jenkins. You're all of 12 inches, no, not even 12 inches high. And
Well, he weighs
he's the
17
most,
pounds.
he's the most vicious dog on the planet. Hey, that's enough. That's enough. Be quiet. Sydney, no.
Sorry, folks.
Honey, you're going to probably have to shut the door because I can't do this with them barking. Well, again, the odd house still made it. I hope it's one of yours. Oh, this is the resort, and that was actually just the little building by the pool. Nothing, nothing, nothing. I'm sorry I never got down there before this happened. It looks like it was an extremely beautiful place. But this is a problem about living in the forest, folks. That's why it's so important to have your 100 foot of defensible space. Because when you are surrounded by trees in the forest, if you're not keeping those trees maintained and making sure that um, the dry branches have been taken off, that they've been pruned properly, that they're not drying out, that the pine beetles are not eating them up. That's the things that you got to look for. And when you got a dead tree down, chop it up and put it in your firewood pile. Don't just let it sit there in your yard. It just gives you more fuel for these fires. If you keep everything clean around your house, you've got a better chance. 9 times out of 10, the houses that survived in this fire had 100 feet of defensible space. That's Rose Anderson, and I didn't catch the cross street. Is he in here? Well, he won't bark if he's in here.
Hi, sweetie. There's a sweetie boy. Oh, you're such a good watchdog. Yes.
And many of you are aware that we lost a cat when we evacuated from our place, and that was in Point Lakeview. She came back last night. We were very happy to see her outside, but she's a very scared cat. She doesn't get along with animals, other cats and people and dogs very well. She's very skittish, so we left the door open last night for her, and she did come in, but then she ran back out as soon as we tried to shut the slider. And you left food out to her. I told you not to feed her. If she's hungry, she'll come inside. No, you can't feel sorry for her, dearest. I'm sorry. You got to be tough on her because she's being ridiculous. And one of our other cats went outside because we didn't get her trapped in. And she's never been outside before either, but she was waiting at the door this morning saying, "Let me in, let me in." And again, more and more and more devastation. It just doesn't stop. Anderson Springs, Socrates Mine Road, Summit Boulevard or Summit Road, Evergreen, Hoburgs, Emmerford, behind the Hoburgs. All those areas were the worst hit. And I have to say that must be near where the origin of the fire is. And the interesting thing is that the forest fire station is still standing. And the helipad.
Hello, precious.
Those X's, everywhere you see an X means that that house has been checked to see if there's any bodies in it. So that's how they're locating people who are no longer with us, is by checking each individual house. This is why this whole recovery is taking so long. I mean, can you imagine having to check every single house in Cobb, in Loch Lomond, in Anderson Springs, in Middletown, in Hidden Valley? It's a huge, huge, huge job, and we can't expect to be able to get back into homes when there's so much that they have to do. The trees around those homes have to be taken down. Everything has to be cleaned up. I mean, there's just so much work to do. It's phenomenal. And Dan was taking actual still photographs, which we'll integrate into our piece. We're going to be doing a documentary. It used to be called The Fires of August. Now I'm not sure what we're going to call it because it was about the Rocky, Jerusalem, and Great Fires, and the Ziegler Canyon fire that they had about a month ago. And now we're going to add this fire to it. So we're going to look for a different title, but we will be doing something that will, give everybody in the world just a flavor of what kind of tragedy that Lake County has experienced. And of course, we're on every map now because all the news organizations are talking about us everywhere, and they're just, we're famous now. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but this is not the way that Lake County should be
Well,
famous.
actually, we're worldwide famous because Dave saw it in Australia on the
Oh, he
news.
did.
Yeah.
Well, here's another thing. The vineyards are being allowed to let the workers come in and work,
Yep.
even though this is a closed area. And interestingly enough, I haven't seen one vineyard that was burned out.
Right.
I just find that very absurd. I understand that they have to get their crops in and everything has to be saved, but here's one of those oxymoron types of images. The little pig still sitting on the ball. But it just seems kind of odd to me that they're in a secure situation. They've got looters running around, and yet the workers are allowed to go back to the fields.
With no background checks, no
With
nothing.
no background checks. A lot of them are undocumented, and they're now being allowed into evacuated areas to work.
Yeah, to me, I mean, I understand the need to harvest them, but what makes them different than any other business owner who can't go back and look
And
at
there's
his
a lot
stuff?
of supervisors, well, not a lot of supervisors. Some of the supervisors are writing letters for people to let them get into their areas. And these are areas that haven't even been burned, but, that's fine. And maybe these people are trustworthy, peaceful. That's not the point. What if they bring people with them who are there, with some other intentions? We don't know. I just think what I saw up there today was a lot of lackadaisical attitudes as far as people being up there. We got checked about 3 or 4 times, but we saw cars up there that were not with insurance agencies. By the way, I saw at least 6 farmers insurance cars
Really?
today. Absolutely. That was one thing I have to say was very impressive
I didn't
about
think they would
farmers.
insure anything up there.
Well, they did because they had the guys out there,
Yes.
even in Anderson Springs. And now we're leaving the Springs. That was a devastating journey. I'm sorry. But it was just very, very worrisome to see the amount of sightseers and looky-loos that were up there. We saw one car at the lookout point there right before the Welcome to Cobb Mountain, and the car was like a law enforcement person, and he had like 4 other people who were obviously looky-loos, and they were just up there taking pictures. Why? I know everybody's curious. This is such a huge devastation, but they don't need to have a bunch of traffic up there. There was cars everywhere this time. And there's no security, as far as I can tell. I mean, they're trying their best, but, there's limited manpower. This is going back out of Anderson Springs Road. I'm just very concerned because I don't feel like the response from the law enforcement has been strong enough to be able to protect these communities. I just don't feel it.